Grayscale just won its case against the SEC, and people are excited at the possibility of a Bitcoin spot ETF coming to fruition. But we saw a huge rally come last week that got sold right back off. So, like, what is really going on? Like, do they know something we don't? We want to get into detail about this because guess what? We're crypto fans and we nervous right now. Nervous.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. So we're about to share everything with you guys. As we do that, please make sure you like this video if you haven't already done so, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. So please, because right now what I want to show you guys is this man right here. This is SEC's chair, Gary Gensler. So I like to call him Mr. Burns because I think he looks just like him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I see a lot of similarities, but it's very similar because, he's someone who's into corporate. He runs SEC and he does not like crypto. Like, this man is gonna be the person who's basically holding everything back. Now, this is what you need to know about him, right? So the SEC has waged a war against cryptocurrency this entire year. We saw so many lawsuits. We see a lot of companies coming out and basically saying, approve the spot ETF. And we have made some good leeway into that, but it's not looking too good because at the heart of Gary Gensler, or Mr. Burns, he is not a fan into crypto. In the beginning, he actually liked crypto, right? Right before this whole COVID stuff that was happening, he was optimistic. But lately, it's not looking too good. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it's a great read, and we're gonna put this link in the description for you guys to follow along. But just make sure you guys know this is the man that's holding you guys back from seeing those crazy gains. However, as Rel just said, Grayscale, their AUM, which is assets under management, went crazy high, right? The reason for that is because on August 29th, a court ruled that the SEC must reconsider Grayscale's application to transform its GBTC into a spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, bro, why is that important, right? So when we think about it, bro, this whole thing with the SEC is Bitcoin's way too risky. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, of course.
Now, what Grayscale did was, SEC, you guys are saying this is risky. Mr. Burns here wants to say it's super risky. However, let's just keep into mind that there's already a future ETF on Bitcoin, which is a lot more risky than the spot ETF that will be passed. So when Grayscale said that, it was like, hold up, you guys are right. There's nothing we could say. So SEC had to come back and actually say that, yes, we have to reconsider this. And now, when you reconsider the fact that the SEC has already ruled in favor of the futures ETF, they can't say anything else. There's nothing else to say, which is why JP Morgan is saying that the SEC will be forced to approve Bitcoin ETF after losing its first case against Grayscale. So there's a lot that just happened. So let's just break that down, bro.
Yeah, and I wanted to make it clear for people, like what do you mean, like futures ETF and spot ETF? So like with the futures ETF, people got to realize like that's a derivative based on the price of Bitcoin. So it's based on futures contracts on Bitcoin, which is could be a lot more volatile, a lot more dangerous because it's based on contracts versus the spot is legit the price action of Bitcoin. So like they said, like how you approving the futures contracts version versus the actual spot thoroughly pure Bitcoin itself. And that was a great point right there. And so once again, people are becoming excited, like, yo, listen, if they overturn that, then maybe we could get that spot ETF after all, because everybody wants a spot ETF on Bitcoin because right now it's hard to access Bitcoin. It's risky. You got these exchanges shutting down every other day. It's hard to attain it. It's hard to remember your private keys and everything. So people just want a safer way to have access to this coin, none other than getting it through the ETF route through trusted institutions like BlackRock or Grayscale, things like those.
Yep. And this is the thing that's very important for you guys to understand. Now, yes, the SEC could always go back, right, and say, no, it doesn't matter what we said earlier, but this is the biggest piece. The analysts are saying that SEC would have to backtrack on its previous approval of the future-based ETF that Rel just explained to you guys to reject both Grayscale's request to convert its trust into an ETF and the spot Bitcoin ETF application. This would be very disruptive and embarrassing. And yes, it would be. Why? Because the SEC has never went back and took back a decision that they already approved. That's a big deal. Like, it wouldn't make sense. I think people will lose trust in what's going on.
Bro, hold on. So hold on. So you telling me like they could actually now overturn even having the futures version of it, and that means
they technically could, right? Because they could do whatever they want. However, this is the biggest thing. This decision is most likely, because remember, BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, there's a lot of companies involved in this, and there's a lot of big money involved. So at the end of the day, this is supposed to come out mid-October, November-ish, but this is the thing. SEC already has approved the future version of this. So yes, they could go back and turn it, but that would not be a good look for the SEC. And yes, we might say like, does anyone even care? To be fair, yes, because if people lose trust in the SEC, they're going to continue to bring on new cases. And at some point, you have to make a legitimate case as to why you're not approving this.
But at the same time, they've already rejected the spot Bitcoin ETF applications from before, have they not?
Yeah, but now they haven't rejected it. It's an approval. I mean, it's in review. It's not.
It's in review.
It's in review, and they're taking a while to review it. That's the crazy part. They're taking a while to review it, and on top of that, bro, Grayscale just pointed out to them that what is so risky about this? Because you guys already have one asset that you're working with that's a lot more riskier, or I should say, one instrument that you're working with, which is a lot more riskier.
But at the same time, it's like, either way, they're going to have to kind of go back on something they previously said. So whether they take away the futures ETF, that's going back on what they said, or if they actually end up approving the spot ETFs, that's also going back on something they said before. So either way, the SEC is going to take an L. It's just which L are they going to want to take?
Which one would you rather take? Would you rather go back and take away a product that you've already approved, an instrument that you've already approved that people are investing in? Or would you rather go back and say, you're right, this is less risky, and we have key players like BlackRock, like Fidelity, like Invesco that want to invest in this, and we're going to get a lot more money into the economy. Because if this gets approved, this is what happens, guys. We can look at gold as an example of this. When the gold ETF got approved, this is what we were at right here. We were just hovering around this, and look at the progression we made. This is the first ever gold ETF that was approved and just continued. Even when it went down in 2015, look where it is now. From this point on, the gains were ridiculous. The amount of money that flowed into the economy was absolutely wild. So there's a case for this.
But the SEC, their job is to protect investors' money, right?
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
But gold hasn't disrupted any investors' money on the level, not even close to where crypto has done, and all the corruption that's come behind that industry. So they might say like, yeah, I know it can bring money to the economy, but how much money has it taken from our citizens of this economy right now? Crypto has destroyed people's wallets thus far. No pun intended.
And that's why, is it crypto that's destroyed it, or is it Bitcoin that's destroyed it? It's a Bitcoin spot ETF, which is the largest currency when it comes to crypto. And Bitcoin is the one equivalent to gold. We're not saying past a Dogecoin ETF. You know what I mean? That's not what no one's saying. It's saying it's a Bitcoin-based ETF. You have all this money. I don't see BlackRock or Grayscale or Fidelity coming out and saying, yeah, we're going to sponsor Dogecoin. They're sponsoring Bitcoin. And you have investors who want to invest in this. But once again, Mr. Burns here wants to hold everyone off. Like, bro, relax.
But Mr. Burns might say, like, you know what, if I let Bitcoin go, they're gonna come to me with an Ethereum ETF. After Ethereum, you're gonna have
that already has passed too. Like but notice how they're saying the top two. There's a silver one as well. So it's
that's facts. But like after Ethereum,
incredible stuff. Like, and that's the piece that's also very important.
Hear me though, right? After Ethereum, why not come with a Cardano? Why would they justify Ethereum but not Cardano? Just strictly by laws, they do the same exact thing. So why? So Cardano's gonna come with can we have a Cardano spot ETF? Can we have a? What do you mean?
No, I think it's gonna come under, in my opinion, I'm not, the SEC chair, but in my opinion, I would say it's if I was, it would have been passed by now. But in my opinion, I think what it's gonna really matter is AUM, right? Like, and the market cap based on this. Cardano doesn't have as strong as a market cap as Ethereum. It doesn't have the backing of the big companies. That's what I think it's going to come down to. If you have the big companies signing off on it, like at the end of the day, I hate to say it, guys. It's money that talks. So BlackRock puts a stamp on you, you're stamped for life. So that's my thing. And Grayscale coming out and basically saying, how are you approving A and not approving B? But A is a lot more riskier. That makes no sense. You're like contradicting yourself. So now SEC has to decide, should we pull back what we already approved, which is very risky? Or should we come out and say, you know what, let's actually approve this because there's a lot of money that's going to fluctuate into the economy and we're going to be able to tax it. So yeah. That's the thing. That's a bull case scenario, right? For Bitcoin right now. That's a bull case. So let's cover the bear case now. If you're still watching, bro, before you even get into this, don't even show the charts yet, bro. I want them to like this video. Y'all have to like this video, man. Please do not play games. It helps the channel out a lot.
Honestly, more than like, I actually prefer y'all to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel.
Why don't do both? Why don't y'all do both?
The more the better. Like, yeah. So look, getting into this now. So on a technical level, I know there's some things on here you wouldn't understand, and that's okay. Some of the people who, trade, they may understand some of these terms, but focus on everyone else, just the direction, right? So Bitcoin's direction, you see how it's been moving up and up and up, right? Because as it goes up, that means Bitcoin's price is going up. Then you saw it go down, then it went back up, and then it went right back down, right? And this is from a weekly perspective. So that means that every single candle you see here represents 1 week. So I just showed you several weeks of price action. So you see that honestly, pretty much since mid-March, we've been kind of on a roller coaster with Bitcoin. It's gone down, it's gone up, and it came right back down. And now let's look at this on a daily, which means every candle represents a day. So when Grayscale, real quick, right? Just candle, he means the colors. Just like if it's a red color, that's red candle. That means it was a red day, which was you lost money that day, right? Like that's just to keep it super simple. Green just means it's a green day. You guys went up from the previous. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, literally. So it's like this green candle right here, this big green rectangle candle. That is the day that the SEC lost their case to Grayscale. So that's why you saw Bitcoin's price. It went from being at lows of like mid 25K, it came all the way up to like a little over 28K in one day. They were up a significant amount of percent. And guess what happened after that? Because everybody got excited. People FOMO'd into Bitcoin. Oh, it's lit. We about to get the spot ETF really soon. Yeah, they sold it right back off. Even to the point where we came down lower than we were before the news dropped. So Bitcoin came right back down. And from a technical perspective, we like the fact that it had bounced here, but coming back down to where it bounced is not a good sign. And it makes me feel that Bitcoin has potential to trade now under this and come down into this area, which is a next point I'll be watching around mid 22,000s. Between mid 22,000s to a little over mid 19 is where I'm watching Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is able to lose 24/7, 24,700. So really watching for Bitcoin right now. And I wanted to make a point here on just like, yo guys, I know news comes out, but don't FOMO into news, because look how you FOMO'd into the news. You bought Bitcoin and it got sold off the day after. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, that's definitely important. And that's the thing, like, so just to make it very clear, right? So we gave you guys a bull case earlier where you see Grayscale, you see Fidelity, you see all of these things happening. But this is, and that's on the fundamental side of things. This is on the technical side of things that Rella's speaking to you guys about, where it's like, we're not fully out that gray area with Bitcoin right now, and crypto in general. We're not fully out. Is that right so far? Yeah, we're not. Even looking at it from a monthly perspective, I don't like what I'm seeing here on a monthly, which means every candle represents one full month of price. So you see this, it looks like we're trying to come back down. That's not really a good thing. And I know we've been talking about Bitcoin, but it's kind of like the same thing with these other like major ones like Ethereum. I don't like how Ethereum came back to this area. We bounced good and it came back. And we bounced a weak bounce this time, and then it rejected and it's coming right back down. So it's like Ethereum is showing weakness, like it wants to go lower as well. And that's the same thing that happened, right? We told y'all not to FOMO into news. People who bought this, it got sold right off. And a lot of people got into this one. Look at this day on XRP. XRP was up, I think, 80 something percent in one day.
They hit like 90% that day.
90% in one day, bro. Look what happened the days after. We came right back down to the point where we're back lower than it was at a point before the news came out. It hit lower than it was before the news came out. So FOMOing into news, like think about people who bought up here when it was up 90% and you just lost all that money. It's sad. Stop FOMOing into news. But my main point here on technicals, because I'll close up right here, is just, on a technical perspective, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto at large is showing a lot of weakness. So that's not a good sign. And it makes me feel like, because I believe the charts come before the news personally. And so if it's showing weakness like this, it makes me feel like there's bad news to come on crypto, but it just hasn't come out yet. So we'll have to see.
So let's do this, right? Let's do this real quickly. I'm about to share my screen again, and let's not Mr. Burns. We're gonna go right here. So this is the thing that I think is kind of weird that you're saying everything you're saying, because there's an article that's essentially just repeating and summarizing what you just talked about, right? So it says Bitcoin price dips after SEC delays decision on spot ETF. Remember, just make it very clear for you guys if you're still watching, SEC delayed its spot Bitcoin ETF. Doesn't mean that they're not continuing to review it. They're just delaying it. It's still under review. However, let's just think about it. So once again, this will be in the description below for you guys to follow along, but let me just find it for you guys, right? So right here, it says Bitcoin has fallen back below $26,000 after rallying early this week. Remember, this came out September 1st. And essentially, this is what Rel is talking about, where it says everybody else who was going to follow a spot Bitcoin ETF, they jumped on the bandwagon within the couple of days. And when we saw Bitcoin go from 25,000 to 30,000 and just above. But given some of the disappointments that we've seen recently, we've seen that we've seen quite a bit of a fall off essentially. And it says, getting back to the main point, we're at about 25,000. 25,000 gives, there's not a lot of weight, or there's not a lot of support under that until you get to about 20 or 21,000, which is what Rel just said. And we could definitely go lower. But none of this really means that much in terms of price action between 20 or 30. They even say 33,000. It's essentially like until we're able to break above 35, right here, 35,000 or 40,000, we're still in that gray area of, are we safe? Are we not safe? So there's a lot of uncertainty. And this is an article. This is not technical analysis or anything of that sort. It's just kind of saying the news right now and what's going on. So it kind of goes very similar to what you were just saying, bro.
Yeah, the charts are really showing it, man. The charts really show it. You said we're not out of the gray area. We're not out of the grayscale area. Get it?
See, I didn't want to make that corny joke, guys. He did it.
There it goes. I'm corny.
Not me. Yeah. So, guys, essentially, I want to take all my money and dump it into Bitcoin. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Am I wild? I am. Do I want to do it? Yes. Am I going to do it? No. And this is not what this is what we want to tell you guys as well. Like, at the end of the day, we're not your financial advisors, but something you guys should consider doing if you really want to be a part of this crypto journey is just DCA. It sounds very boring. It sounds very repetitive. However, you're not going to go through what you just saw on the charts with Ripple and Ethereum and Bitcoin. You're not going to catch the highs. You're not going to catch the lows. You're going to stay average. But over time, you will see gains, right? And that's why DCA is very important.
Yeah, definitely DCA, and just understand that y'all seeing how volatile it is. You've seen XRP go up 90% in a day. Days later, it took everything back. Bitcoin rally came back. Ethereum rally came back. Yo, right now is a very, very sensitive time for crypto. So I don't suggest dumping any like lump sums of money in there, because it could go really bad for you or really well. Yes, but yo, wait for confirmation. Wait for confirmation before taking action. So word.
Retweet. Nah, for real. But if you're still watching, we appreciate you. Let us know what you guys think, right? If you guys think it's gonna go up, down, if you're DCAing, if you stopped investing, whatever, we want to know in the comments below. Please like this video because it helps the channel out, and subscribe. Plus hit that little notification because we drop
2 videos a week,
and you do not want to miss them. Check us out on Wednesday, but until then, peace.
Peace.
Soundstripe.